And the other thing you need to remember about Baldwin is that after November 1st, the south end of the lake is restricted. It's for bird rest area or waterfowl rest area only. And if you get caught on that south part of that lake past that arm, you're also in trouble. So remember that. It's not posted out there. But
Not posted
Sean,
really anywhere.
yeah, Sean and I got run off from security from the power plant, and he was nice about it. He could have called conservation out there on us, but at that time they didn't have the Boyz out there. Now they do, so no excuse. Now, Team Fat Boys doesn't claim to know everything. I don't consider myself a professional fisherman only because I'm not making money fishing. That is hopefully coming up this year if we get in some of the Twisted Cat tournaments. I told Lyle that I wanted to get involved in that and do a few. But we did pick up sponsorship.
Yes, we did.
You know, we don't get a lot of freebie stuff, and I don't ask for it. I think mainly because I feel we are growing with them and they are growing with us. They're taking a chance on our performance in the future. And being that when Curtis and I first started, you know, we was catching fish to eat, so we catch 40, 50 bullheads, and we were happy for a day. And then we got researching and targeting channel cat, did a lot of research, and got to where we can pretty well read where they're at. And we really haven't had a chance to do that with blues yet, other than Baldwin. But that's a strange lake to fish anyway. I want to get out on the Mississippi or Missouri or the pool up there in Alton. Try to catch some blues and flats.
And the Kaskaskia.
And it's just a matter of researching and you know, we always
take our homework.
We always listen. Somebody wants to give us advice, we always take it. We may not use it, we may use it.
But and we give out advice if people asked and would like to know.
Yeah, I gave that information to Mark,
Sean, and
now Justin.
Individual people we've seen out fishing. We're free to get.
And they've come back with fish and said, "Hey, you know, thanks, man. That worked out."
Yes, sir.
We haven't really been approached on Baldwin that much, but Silver Lake is what I consider our home lake, and I can put you on channel catfish every time, big ones, you know, 5 and better. Now this year we caught quite a few small ones, not
more than we had.
Yeah,
probably a pound and a half, 2, 3,
maybe 20 or 30 fish, maybe.
But it's just the consistency of the heavy fish in there. If you want a spot to go.
Well, there's a guy, if you remember right, told us that he catches 14s out there, but I think he does that on trout line.
I'd like to see that.
The biggest that I've seen come out of there was Jim's 12.
It was 12.8.
Mark had a 12. We had a 12. And those were jugs. And then I caught that 11 on a rod. I can't remember what your biggest channel was out there on a rod.
About 6 pound, I think.
But I know we got fun when I know we have fun when we go out there.
Can't beat it. Sit around and camp and bullshit and just
yeah, that's the other thing, you know, investing in that little stove and that coffee
That
pot.
was a good investment. It
Yeah, buddy.
saved us coffee wise.
You know, there was so many
Cook
times
on
that first year we went out fishing, and we'd empty them 2 thermoses, man, and they get cold. Now we just fix up coffee out on the bank and
Or in the boat for that
put it-
matter.
yeah, we've done it in the boat, 19-mile-an-hour winds, and we just set the stove in the bottom of the floor and fire it up, percolate some coffee for about 10 minutes, and boy, you can't beat it.
No sir. Especially on these cold days.
Except for the time when Sean forgot the water,
Yeah.
and we ended up boiling lake water for 15 minutes, and then we percolated it for 10, the coffee for 10, before I'd even drink it. And it was all right, but me and Sean didn't drink very much of it. And I wouldn't drink it first. I told him, I said, you drink yours first. And he was drinking it, and I tasted it and stuff. I thought, oh, that's all right. And I took me a couple swallows to wet my lip. And so I just let it get cold. There ain't too much out of drinking lake water.
Yeah.
And no telling how many fishermen piss in that, which I mean, it's sterile, but you know how many geese and ducks shit in that water?
At least you boiled it though, and it killed at least 90-something% of the pathogens.
It didn't end up with trots. Well, they say you can boil any water for 15 minutes and it'd be good unless it contains arsenic. So, but you know, I really believe in CPR. Anything 10 over. Like I said, we released a lot of stuff that was
7s, 8s.
Yeah, I think maybe 1 or 2 6s. But you know, we've CPR'd them. But let me tell you, for the newbies, for the people that has experienced catfishing, getting in these forums and talking is all good. But when somebody says CPR, don't say catch photo and refrigerate. Because I made that comment as a joke on a forum, and I mean it blew up on me big time. These people take this stuff serious. Mm-hmm. And we took a lot of flack because people didn't think we caught and released, and we did, and we have for the last 2 years. The problem is we didn't have, you know, Curtis was laid off, I'm on Social Security, and we didn't have the lighting where we could videotape us, you know, releasing fish. Then we started doing some daytime stuff so we could show it. But a lot of times, you know, I went by myself and trying to hold a fish, hold a video camera, hold the phone to take a picture, or hold my camera to take a picture, is almost impossible to show you releasing a fish.
Yeah.
And it really is. And people thought that we didn't catch and release. So a lot of the videos that we've done this year, because of comments made about Team Fat Boys, we made it a point to start showing what fish we're releasing. And there was a night that we went out with XXX blood bait and tore them up. And we released every fish. Every single fish. And it was over 20-something fish, over 5 pounds. And we released every single one of them. What you have to understand about Curtis and I is, with his job, he does get laid off. And you got to have food in the freezer, folks. And with me being on Social Security, you know, I'm on a fixed income. And even with what my wife makes, if I didn't stock back fish for the winter, and I may save 20, 30 pounds of fillets, but I guarantee you by springtime they're gone, you know. And I don't believe in being on food stamps if I don't have to be. And if I didn't supplement my dinner tables with catfish,
At least
I'd be on food stamps, and that's no lie. And I'm sure a lot of you can appreciate that I do try to go out and catch my own stuff. And I don't have to be on food stamps. And there's nothing really ashamed with being on them if you need them. But as long as I can get out there and fish,
Yep.
I don't need it. So when you're on these forums, sit back and introduce yourself. But then look at unread posts and kind of look and get an idea and get a feel before you go making jokes, because some of these guys take this stuff serious.
Yes, they do.
I've got two that pretty well hate my guts, and I don't care. But you gotta watch what you do. Hey, one thing we found out, when we did catch a bullhead, them things would get gut hooked every time. I mean, swallow the hook clear down to their butthole. And Curtis and I have tried lots of hooks. Kales. What else have we tried?
Regular
Eagle.
hooks.
Stay away from the eagle claw circle hooks because they break. And they break often. And they straighten out often. Even the 6/0 that Eagle Claw puts out, in my opinion, and in Curtis's opinion, are shit. It's just, they ain't worth the metal they're made out of. So Curtis and I have tried a lot of different hooks, and we progressed with hooks. There was a time our jugs had all Kales on them, and
Limericks, wasn't they?
Limericks, yeah, Limericks, that's what they were.
Yeah. Eagle Claw Limericks.
We would pull in a jug and the hook would be straightened completely out. I got wind of some hooks, circle hooks, that everybody was talking about, was pretty good, and they were bottomdwellerstackle.com. And I think we started off with some 2/0 circles or 4/0.
It was 4 or 5.
Yeah, I think we're 4/0 from bottomdwellerstackle.com. And we were still gut hooking bullheads.
Mm-hmm.
So finally we went up to 6/0 bottom dwellers hooks. And I think we've only had one bullhead that was ever gut hooked on it. And that's because he swallowed it down past that esophagus or whatever you want to call it. Looks like a butthole. But swallowed it down past there, and it did gut hook him pretty bad. So
It definitely increased our release ratio.
so yeah, so we definitely endorse the 6/0 bottom dweller circle hooks. Matter of fact, I wouldn't endorse any of them hooks because I haven't had one really straighten out on me
No.
that I can think of.
They're a really good solid hook.
I've got 50-pound test on this rod right here, and I pulled and pulled and pulled, and it broke the line. I sure didn't get my hook back, but
We pretty much use circle hooks exclusively now
yeah.
for catfishing.
So
Definitely on rods, and they work really, really well on the jugs.
and after yeah, I mean we between us we've got about 100 jugs, and every one of them's got circle hooks, and Dave's got an awesome deal on hooks, and I don't know how in the hell you could beat them. For the quantity you can get for the price just blows my mind. So, we got 100 hooks on jugs. I'd hate to guess how many hooks I've got stored in my my backup box, and how many I've got in my stowaway that I take with me all the time. But I highly endorse the circle hooks that bottomdwellerstackle.com puts out, really for sure. Matter of fact, his customer service will blow your mind, because if you have to get a hold of him, he's usually right on it.
Yeah.
I can call him, I can send him an email, and it doesn't take me long to get a response. So that is one sponsor we picked up that
It's helped us out a lot.
helps us out a lot. Black Horse Custom Rods, Driftmaster rod holders. We're working on getting those on our boat. And with that, it's been a pretty good season, 2011. And I really want to blow smoke on 2012 and kick some ass and get some trophy
Yes,
cats.
sir.
Try to target some trophy cats. And do some other species this year. Just so people don't think that's all we do. I mean, you're liable to find us duck hunting, catfishing, fishing for any species. I mean, we've been fishing 2011, we fished for freshwater drum, which is actually a pretty good tasting fish.
Yeah, that was something new we tried.
I enjoyed that.
We even caught a few sturgeon.
Yeah, that's what I meant. Didn't I say sturgeon?
Sauger.
Sauger. Yeah, I ain't caught no sauger.
I caught 2 sauger down there when I was by myself, but those were.
So let me
sturgeon.
correct that. I didn't catch any sauger. It was a sturgeon. So that is an awesome looking fish too. I would like to hook into about a 40 or 50 pound one of them. And they're out there. I'm sure there's some out there well over 100 pounds.
They get to be 11 feet long.
But no matter how long that you've fished, don't let people make fun of what you catch. You know, if you catch, 2 and 3 pounders and what we call fiddlers, decent size eating, pan size, and stuff like that, don't let people embarrass you. Post your pictures. Post them in Team Fat Boys Facebook group, because it's all about being in the outdoors. It's about doing something you enjoy. In the springtime, early summer, Curtis and I are basically catching food. But we're out there because we want to be out there,
To have fun and enjoy yourself is what
And
it's about.
if you post a picture of a 4-inch bluegill, the great thing about it is you're out there and you enjoy catching it, and don't let anybody ruin it for you. And there's people out here that
Yeah.
will do that.
The world's full of them.
You catch a couple, nice sized bullhead, oh, that's bait, and it's disrespectful, I think, in my opinion. So don't take anything personal what you hear. And like I said on the forums, be careful not to post things that are going to be questionable, and you'll get the idea if you read around a little bit. With that, I guess that's pretty well 2011.
Yeah.
And
Now we're on to 2012,
Yep.
and have many more videos to come.
so I guess what I ought to say is tight lines, and remember, if you ain't fishing, you ain't living.